In the aftermath of a war that tore the world apart, a new kind of battle began. It wasn't fought with tanks or trenches, but with an invisible wall of ideology, and its first major front was a city divided. Imagine a city, deep within enemy territory, suddenly cut off from the world. Its people, still reeling from the devastation of conflict, now faced a new, silent threat: isolation, starvation, and the slow erosion of their freedom. This is the story of how an entire city, West Berlin, was saved not by force, but by an unprecedented act of human ingenuity and unwavering resolve, carried on the wings of thousands of aircraft. The year was 1948. Europe was a fractured continent, still picking up the pieces from the Second World War. Germany, the heart of the conflict, had been carved into 4 occupation zones by the victorious Allied powers: America, Britain, France, and the Soviet Union. Berlin, the former capital, found itself in an even more precarious position. Though geographically deep inside the Soviet-controlled East German zone, the city itself was also divided into 4 sectors. For the Western Allies, West Berlin was a beacon of democracy, a tiny island of freedom surrounded by a sea of Soviet influence. But for the Soviets, it was an irritating outpost, a constant reminder of Western presence in their sphere. Then, in June of 1948, the hammer fell. The Soviet Union, hoping to force the Western Allies out of Berlin and gain full control, initiated a full-scale blockade. All land and water routes into West Berlin were sealed. Roads, railways, canals, everything was closed. No food, no coal for heating, no medicine could get in. The 2 million residents of West Berlin were suddenly trapped, their supplies dwindling rapidly. The world watched, holding its breath. Would the Allies abandon West Berlin? Would they risk a direct military confrontation, or would they find another way? The answer came swiftly and decisively: an airlift. It was a gamble, a logistical nightmare on an unimaginable scale. Could an entire city be sustained solely by air? Many doubted it, but the Western Allies, primarily the United States and Great Britain, were determined. They established 3 narrow air corridors, mere 20-mile wide lanes in the sky, leading into West Berlin. The challenge was immense, coordinating thousands of flights, day and night, in all weather conditions, to deliver everything a modern city needed to survive. The operation was a marvel of planning and precision. Air traffic controllers, many of them veterans of the war, orchestrated a ballet of aircraft, guiding them through the corridors with military precision. Strict timetables were enforced. Planes landed every few minutes, sometimes as frequently as every 90 seconds, at Tempelhof, Gatow, and later Tegel airports. Pilots flew precision approaches, often battling dense fog, driving rain, or heavy snow. There was no room for error, no time for delay. Each plane had a designated landing slot, a quick unload time, and a precise departure window. On the ground, an army of workers, both Allied personnel and Berliners themselves, met each arriving aircraft. Coal, the lifeblood of a city facing a harsh winter, was unloaded by the ton. Food, milk, medicine, raw materials for factories, everything was meticulously sorted and distributed. The efficiency was breathtaking. Crews practiced quick unloads, and ground teams choreographed rapid turnarounds, often getting a plane back in the air in less than 30 minutes. Amidst this colossal logistical effort, small, human moments shone through. One American pilot, Gale Halvorson, became known as the Candy Bomber. He would wiggle the wings of his plane on approach, signaling to the children below that he was about to drop tiny parachutes laden with candy, a small gesture of hope and sweetness in a time of great hardship. But the airlift was not without its perils. The relentless pace, the constant pressure, and the unforgiving weather took their toll. Foggy approaches led to terrifying near misses. Mechanical strain on the aging aircraft resulted in breakdowns and, tragically, crashes. Pilots battled fatigue, pushing themselves to their limits, knowing that every successful flight meant another day of survival for the people below. Maintenance crews worked around the clock, often in freezing conditions, to keep the planes flying. Each loss, each accident was a stark reminder of the immense risks involved. Yet the flights continued, a testament to the unwavering commitment of all involved. The Berlin Airlift was more than just a logistical triumph. It was a powerful political statement. It was a direct, non-violent rebuttal to the Soviet blockade, demonstrating Western resolve without firing a single shot. Soviet propaganda denounced the airlift as a futile exercise, but the undeniable success of the operation, the sheer volume of goods delivered, and the resilience of the Berliners themselves deeply embarrassed Moscow on the international stage. After 322 days, almost a full year, the Soviets finally conceded defeat. In May of 1949, the blockade was lifted. West Berlin remained free, a symbol of defiance and a testament to the power of collective will. The legacy of the Berlin Airlift stretched far beyond the immediate crisis. It proved that sustained air logistics could indeed defeat a blockade, a doctrine that would influence military and humanitarian operations for decades to come. It solidified the emerging Cold War divide, clearly delineating the spheres of influence and demonstrating the commitment of the Western powers to their allies. The success of the airlift also played a crucial role in the formation of NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, a defensive alliance designed to counter Soviet expansion. It set precedents for future humanitarian airlifts, inspiring similar efforts in times of crisis around the globe. For the pilots, the ground crews, and especially the Berliners, the airlift was an unforgettable chapter in their lives. Children who cheered as candy fell from the sky, families who relied on the daily deliveries of coal and food, all bore witness to an extraordinary act of human solidarity. The Berlin Airlift stands as a profound study in logistics, in unwavering resolve, and in symbolic politics. It was a moment when planes, not tanks, kept a city's freedom alive, and in doing so, helped to define the early contours of the Cold War, a period that would shape the world for generations.